Welcome back, dudes, to Silver Surfer's channel. Got a fun one for you guys today. We're gonna do something we haven't done in a little bit, and check that out. Little package, huh? Little mail call. So I've already opened it up just to remove personal information, but we're gonna kind of view the item here together. This is something that I've wanted for a very long time, and they don't come up all that often that are nicely graded, problem-free, etc. And so I logged onto eBay the other day, kind of lost track of even looking for them, and there was one this one was for auction, so I ended up putting a bid in. It was closing within a day. It was a very short auction period, which I think worked out in my favor some. And the bid was pretty strong, not the best, but pretty strong. The next day I was at work in the operating room, and I looked at my phone to see, and it was getting very close to my max bid, so I got a little nervous and ended up bidding in the middle of the room. With like 30 minutes left, and it ended up closing with the amount that was already listed on there, which was lower than my original bid, and so I was really stoked on that to get it for this cost. So without further ado, let's go ahead and show you guys this piece. Are you ready? Boom. Wow, this is awesome. We're gonna move the light source up here just a little bit for you guys to get a nice view of this masterpiece. So many of you guys already know exactly what this is and the significance of it. Some of you that don't out there, that's okay. We'll learn together, hopefully on this video for you. Just an amazing, amazing piece, man. Really happy about this. And this is essentially the first I'm looking at it. And as advertised, dudes. Here's the reverse. Wow, this is just a very special piece to me, man. I'm not a big copper collector. I know there's some cults out there that dudes collect large and half cents, early colonials, etc. But this one is one of the top, I think it's number 40 actually on the top 100 US coins of all coins to collect. And there's a reason for that. Lots and lots and lots of history. So this is a 1787 Fugio Cent. PCGS graded it at a good 6. And it's the 4 cinquefoils. I think that's how you pronounce it. Cinquefoils, something along the lines like that. And we'll talk about what that is. But let's get a little bit better view here. I'm trying to zoom in some for you guys. And we'll go about that. So what this coin is, sorry about that. I was trying to get this glove on. I don't really want to handle this thing without a glove. And so what this piece is a post-colonial, if you would, pre-federal, I should say it's actually one of the first federal, pre-federal coins that circulated in our country. The mint did not come into existence, start striking coins till the early 1790s, 1793. It was built and stuff over a couple of years and finished in 1792, and then started striking coins at the end of that year, and the first issues were essentially 1793. So this coin was about 6 years before that. And this coin was brought on because after the American Revolution, a lot of the circulating coinage in the former colonies was kind of being hoarded up and or not as well supplied. Also, the country was growing very rapidly after the war, and so we needed more type of currency to stabilize the country. And so forefathers got together and said, hey, we should probably start minting our own money, but we didn't have a federal mint at this time. So they solicited private mints, which was in existence at that time in different colonies. And the one who won that offer was a New Haven mint out of Connecticut. And the individual named James Jarvis was the individual that was kind of in charge of this project. So he was put under a contract with the government, given a certain amount of copper to strike these cents. He would get paid back based on his production line of the Fugio Cent. And once he was done with the repayment of what he owed the government from that, the rest of it essentially was profit. And so he started that process and continue that process, and there's a couple of great stories with him in general. One of those, he ended up taking off in the middle of the project to Europe. I forget exactly what the story was for that reason, but nonetheless, the guys back here were still striking the coinage, and kind of went off the Richter scale a little bit with producing coins for certain colonies and private issuance and stuff along those lines. And so that ended up causing some controversy because the guy's using the copper that was given to him by the federal government to go ahead and produce coinage for other sources. So that was not smart. And when he came back, he found out that they essentially just stopped, his employees just stopped kind of doing this once the government got word of this. And so he fled the country along with several other individuals. Another interesting story about the Fugio Cent is the individual, Abel is his name, was a counterfeiter who was very involved, very good engraver, die engraver in general. And so he was involved with the striking of these coins. And his situation was he was caught a while ago with counterfeiting and lost half of his ear, as well, the top half of his ear, as well as he was branded on his forehead with the big C. So that was kind of interesting. They hired this dude, a known counterfeiter, to go ahead and strike these coins. So pretty fascinating history there. What else can I tell you about this coin? Like I said, it's considered to be the first, essentially, United States of America release of circulating coinage, which did actually circulate some, obviously, as the records show, and the numerous coins that have a lot of circulation wear and stuff with them. But the other thing is that the design itself is very important, and the individual who designed this is also very important. His name is Benjamin Franklin. Many of you have probably heard of this gentleman, one of our forefathers. And fun fact, I've actually visited his gravesite. It's in Philadelphia, right near the Philadelphia Mint, actually, in a very famous cemetery. But anyways, back to this coin design here. So this piece is called the Fugio Cent. It's also nicknamed the Franklin Cent at times. But Fugio, as you can see in the left corner here, what it says, in Latin, that refers to as I fly. And then what also, I'm trying to show you guys the design here without blurring it out, but there's a sun at the top there, that 12 o'clock position that you can see, with the rays beaming down, and this big pattern kind of in the middle here is a sundial. These are used to tell time back in the day. And on the bottom it says, mind your business. The business aspect, the B, is slightly worn down on the far left there, but you can still make out the rest of the word. And that term was not created or not referred to as it is kind of nowadays, where we would say, hey buddy, mind your business. It's not like that. It's more so to take care of your affairs, if you would. So the whole saying of this entire design is, time flies, right? Time flies, take care of your assets, take care of your affairs, so on and so forth. So just an all-around fabulous symbolism here that was used. It was originally used on the continental currency that I also have a piece of, and I'll show you guys here, hopefully at the end of this video, if I can track that down and figure out how to add it into it. But anyways, I showed that in the past. I'll leave a link at least below to the super radar I have of continental currency. And so that's where that design came from originally. It was put on the paper money that was still designed by Benjamin Franklin. They adopted that and carried it over onto these. And so just such a sweet piece, man. And then on the reverse here, it has, in the center, you can see we are one and United States around it. And then there's 13 interlocking rings that are essentially going around the diameter of the circumference of the coin here. And that symbolizes the 13 colonies. So, I mean, you talk about history, man. And, you know, George Washington was still alive during 1787, passed away until 1799. You can only imagine. Maybe he held this coin. I don't know. Point of the matter is that the history within the Fugio Cent is just unmatched, guys. And that's the reason why I had to have this coin. And I'm just so thankful to be able to finally obtain one in my collection. So, like I said, really, really fun piece. Hope you guys learned something a little bit about the Fugio Cent. Go and check that other video out if you can. You can see that Fugio note. But anyways, I really, guys, hope that you guys really enjoyed it. And let me know what you think about this coin. And until next time, Silver Surfer is out.